Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Hope you're having a good one. What's good, what's good, what's good? So there's a lot that is going on over the past week. Fraud and theft, institutional adoption and strategic investments, macro and economic trends, regulatory and legal developments, technological innovation and infrastructure development, stablecoin and CBDC initiatives, societal, ethical, and public sentiment issues, energy and sustainability in crypto, DeFi, tokenization, and real-world assets. Just the list goes on and on. I mean, I'm not even done yet. We hit 16 different categories over the past week. Things like a New Mexico woman was scammed out of $60,000. A 22-year-old from Florida was arrested for scamming an elderly Wells Fargo customer. A leak in investigation reveals Russian-linked networks and Moldovan oligarchs who use crypto to evade sanctions. I mean, we run the gamut, and that's just fraud and theft. Fraud and theft. Here's something else for you to know. Over the past week, Grow My Bag published 163 articles that stem 16 different categories over the past week. And that was just on the crypto side. Didn't include anything about stocks, options, bonds, anything else. Just on the crypto side. So it's nice to know that we had that much going on, even though the week was just all over the place. Right? I mean, we were up, we were down, we were sideways, we were up, we were down. And right now we're basically neutral. Yes, we set a new all-time high with Bitcoin, but were you paying attention to Ethereum? The reason why I say that is because there you go. That's a lot better. Seems like I had everything on mute while I was doing my thing. So, hey, everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Hope you're having a good one. So we just went through 3 minutes of me talking to myself. I'll start again. 16 different categories. Okay, 16 different categories over the past week. 163 articles on crypto alone, broken down by each one of those categories. Fraud and theft, institutional adoption and strategic investments, macro and economic trends, regulatory and legal developments, technological innovation and infrastructure development, stablecoin and CBDC initiatives, societal, ethical, and public sentiment issues, energy and sustainability in crypto, DeFi, tokenization, and real-world assets, public market and IPO activity, Bitcoin price trends and institutional investment, and ETFs. Then you've got market manipulation and whale activities, geopolitical and geographic crypto activity, cybersecurity, security breaches and legal actions, exchange strategies, partnerships and performance, celebrity or public figure involvement. Yeah. Whew. That's a lot. And that's 163 articles broken into each one of those categories. 163 articles. That's nuts. And obviously I can't go through everything, right? But fraud and theft, you had some kid scamming somebody, some man scamming somebody. Well, they're grown at 22, they're grown. So yeah, some man scamming a little old lady out of hundreds of thousands of dollars via Wells Fargo. You've got a New Mexico woman who was scammed out of $60,000 by another person impersonating the FDIC. a leaked investigation or investigation that was going on into Russia, and how they were actually, oh, that's interesting. Russia and how they're working with Moldovan, who is it? Bear with me. Russia was dealing with Moldovan oligarchs to use crypto to evade sanctions. Institutional adoption, Kraken secured $500 million with an above $15 billion valuation. Do you think they're going IPO anytime soon? Yeah, because Kraken was in the news a lot. Different deals, all that kind of stuff. You had Binance drop the idea of crypto as a service. And not only are they coming with the service, sort of like what Coinbase does for JP Morgan, right? But they're actually coming with liquidity, meaning they know it takes liquidity to offer more coins, and they're bringing the liquidity with them. So what I'm expecting is that it will be a loss leader at the beginning, and then all of a sudden it's just going to blow up. It'll be a huge revenue stream for both Coinbase and Binance, but Binance probably the most, because they literally say out front, we're coming with the money. Wow. So PNC partnered with Coinbase, but imagine partnering with Binance, who's going to back all the cryptos that you get involved in. Of course, they'll make their money back, but your barrier to entry will if you're a bank, your barrier to entry is no longer liquidity. And that's huge. That is very much huge. Then you have Zero Hash getting into bed with everybody. They got into bed with JP Morgan. They got into bed. Hold on, I'll tell you who they got into bed. Control H, Zero Hash. MasterCard Chainlink working with Zero Hash to actually get their hands on crypto. Well, MasterCard and Chainlink enable 3 billion users to buy crypto via fiat using Zero Cash, Shift4, and XSwap with Link. Wow. Yeah, Chainlink has been in the news a lot lately as well. So when you look at all these things that are going on, you have to say to yourself, what the heck? What the heck is going on? Zero Hash is making big moves. Do you know where their money comes from? They got like $105 million investment from SoFi and Morgan Stanley. Yeah. So it doesn't shock me that Morgan Stanley getting into or adding crypto to its E-Trade platform is being helped out by leveraging Zero Hash's tech. Huge. Huge. Because that's Morgan Stanley just coming along and smacking everybody else upside the head. Be like, oh yeah, we're here too. So Wells Fargo hasn't said anything. Citi hasn't said anything, although Citi is doing a lot of work in the tokenization space. So imagine tokenized deposits. Oh boy. Citi's talking about not just tokenizing deposits, but that is their biggest settlement issue. Their biggest settlement issue. So tokenizing that, meaning upgrading to blockchain technology, enables them to maneuver value around the world at the speed of code. That's no joke. Yo, aloha, aloha, aloha to 8 Paws. Of course. Are you serious? Did I do research? Are you serious with that? You didn't mean to ask me that question. I know that's not a me question. That's a question for everybody else. I'm the one delivering the news. So when you look back at all those things that went on over the past week, you have to then look forward and say to yourself, well, what's going to happen in the coming week? Rex Osprey coming out and putting out there, it's them and somebody else coming out there and putting out how many, I think it was 21 ETF applications? 21. And I'm expecting that they'll be fast tracked. Why? Because the SEC has said we're going to be fast tracking things. So I'm waiting, possibly even starting this week, for ETFs to just start showing up. Bam, 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 bam. I'm expecting just groups of ETFs just to hit the market. And what will that do? Oh, my Lord, it'll do a lot. It'll do a lot. And so with that, I just think that, well, how do we not make money? Max Salas in the house. Thank you for letting me know you invested in yourself. That question was for the rest of the baggers. I knew it was. Couldn't have been for me. But, I have to bust your chops anyway. So you've just got a lot going on. Why would Solana go up just because BTC came close to 125,000? Why? One has nothing to do with the other. Remember, Bitcoin moves on its own. What you should be shocked by is the fact that Ethereum rose more than Bitcoin, more than Solana. And then you should also be shocked that, well, not shocked necessarily, but that BNB just blew up out of nowhere. Yeah. Now you know why I keep saying, hey, Paula, thank you for letting me know you invested in yourself. Haven't seen you in a minute. It's about time you showed up to class. Anyway. What you've got is, I've been telling you guys for a long time. Pay attention to those infrastructure moves. Pay attention to those infrastructure moves. Why do I say that? It's because infrastructure is telling of what they're expecting. So the more money you see in these infrastructure moves, that's when you should be saying, oh man, that's a couple of companies getting into that space. That space is probably going to blow up. Kind of makes sense, right? Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. Absolutely invest deliberately. Let's see. That's true, but I'm thinking capital rotation after people cashing. You're thinking about it like it's a stock. And that's a massive problem. I would not advise anybody to look at crypto as they would look at stock. And the reason why is because you could have exactly that capital rotation within the stock market. That's common. It happens over here in crypto as well, but not like how you think. Sort of the same, not necessarily as often. And with all of these revenue generating vehicles that are out there, what people are really doing with revenue, with rotation or value rotation is, I'm going to move from crypto to bonds to stocks to real estate, blah, 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 blah. You're going to see a hell of a lot more diversification as you move forward. And there's zero correlation between Solana and Bitcoin. So Bitcoin popping up a little bit, there's no push that drags Bitcoin along. The same thing for Ethereum, same thing for BNB, right? That's why I start looking at things that's why I use the crypto tracker, is because I look at things, as separate items before I look at how are those items affected by other items, right? Like, how are they, do they move in sync or opposing to another coin? I first have to understand how this is going to move by itself. What's the rhythm of that coin? See how I keep going back to rhythm? What's the rhythm of that coin? Then I can start to compare other things. Unitech, what's good? Have you invested in yourself? 1, 2, I don't give advice. I just tell you how I think about the news that I'm delivering. I have to be very careful about that because I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just giving you ideas about how I think and what I'm teaching my kids that you might be able to use. So, oh man, somebody's making cheesesteaks. Yes. Thank you. So I'm paying attention to that while looking at everything else that's going on. Why is that a big deal? That's the real question. Why is that a big deal? Ever notice I don't focus on one thing? The only thing I'm acutely focused on is value, and then how that value is affected by whatever news. But I don't focus on this area of crypto, that area of stocks. No. Do my own research, know my entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately while leveraging my risk framework. Some of you call it your gut. It's the documented version of your gut. Let that sink in a little bit. Your risk framework is your gut written down. Right? It's you going, well, my gut says don't do that. That means someplace in your brain, okay, your gut, someplace in your brain, it has made certain calculations. And the signal wasn't the math or whatever went into those calculations. It was just the result. And it's up to you to decipher all that, get it down so that you can develop your risk framework. And I'm pretty sure some people are thinking, I must be off my rocker because it's your gut. It's your gut. Analyze your gut. Take the last 10 decisions that you made that were made because of your gut. Were they right? And were they wrong? What made them wrong? What made them right? That'll help you hone your risk framework. Oh yeah, whether your gut is right or wrong, your gut is operating in a certain way. Your gut is your brain. That feeling that you have, right? Somebody close to me calls it her spirit. her spirit doesn't like something. That's your gut. That's your risk framework. Think about that. Unitech, thank you for letting me know that you have indeed invested in yourself. So yeah, so much has happened over the past week that you've got to stop and say to yourself, oh man, that's a lot. That's a heck of a lot. And so you start to think, oh man, if I got that much going on, well, then what? If that much, like I told you, that's why I was throwing out numbers earlier. 163 articles just about crypto in the past week. Then beyond that, all bucketed by 16 categories. And I apologize now because, the boys are here watching football, so it could get loud at any point in time. So bear with me. So you're actually looking at a lot. You're looking at a hell of a lot, actually. Right? And that's what we're contending with right now, is all of that happening right now. And then how does that affect your bag? Your respective bags, to be exact, right? More crazy news, the SEC's withdrawal of delay notices for major crypto ETFs. Yeah. There are like 16 ETFs that had the delay notices removed. That means at any point in time, decisions can be made. And do you really think that those things are going to happen negatively? I don't think those decisions are going to be negative. I think those decisions will be, hey, can you fix this in your form? And then here's the stamp of approval. That's what I'm expecting. That's literally what I'm expecting. So it's nuts. When you actually stop to think about it, you sit there and you kind of say to yourself, that's a hell of a lot. That one thing could have carried the whole week. But obviously there was more. Tether and Circle's sudden $3 billion minting of stablecoin. What does that say? They're expecting and handling more and more transactions, which call for them to mint more stablecoin. And remember, when they mint stablecoin, it's backed by what? Fiat. So they've got to have that fiat on hand. So when people freak out, well, between the two of them, they've got $3 billion. That's going to back that minting. So while people sit there and go, whoa, remember, they had to come out of pocket for that. Yeah, they'll make money on transactions and all that other good stuff, but that's what they had to deal with. Max Alice, I would tell you to go do your own research. If you're in the crypto space, that statement doesn't even make sense. Think about it. Think about it. Almost sounds like fake money printing. How? They literally have to have, if you're Circle for USDC and Tether for USDT, they're both backed by hard money. So if they mint something, if they mint $1, they had better add that dollar to their treasury. That's what that means. So there's absolutely not fake money printing. It's the exact opposite. Nuts, right? Nuts. Oh, Hom's House. Heck yeah, they're buying BNB all over the place. Have you invested in yourself today, sir? But yeah, they are buying BNB left and right. No joke. What's going on in BNB? I'm telling you now, BNB is going through some stuff. They're definitely going through some stuff. What are they going through? Like I said, Binance, BNB is Binance's coin that they use to maneuver value, just offered a new service, crypto as a service. They have more building going on BNB. Told you a long time ago. Pay attention to the things that are indeed a part of the connective tissue. Pay attention. These are not small moves. These are all huge moves that are going on. Huge. Huge. And when you take the time to look at things over the past week, you sit there and you kind of go, oh man, I totally forgot about that. Like Swift introduces a blockchain-based shared ledger. They're working with 30 different banks across 16 different countries. When we were talking about that, that was a big topic. I'm willing to bet that half of you didn't remember that today. See what I mean? I have the advantage of taking notes on a daily basis, multiple times a day. I've got all my notes. You've seen them. And what is that? Well, it's a way for me to be able to search my notes. Like that. So if I don't have it in my notes, chances are I missed it. I didn't talk about it. It was news I did not capture. I mean, I'm one person. I can't do it all. Yes, I have my team, but everybody's got their jobs. Right? So there's that. But when you do this look behind, when you stop every Sunday, the whole point of the Sunday Roundup is to turn around and look at the past week and say, so what happened? What happened that was big that I should be paying attention to going forward? Yeah, the SEC lifting those delay notices. You think that's going to affect the next week? Yeah. Binance coming out with crypto as a service for banks and institutions. You think that's going to shape the next week? Probably. Next couple of weeks, we're going to start to hear about the first, second, and third different banks getting in the bed with Binance. Coming with liquidity? What? Yeah, they're not just coming with the platform. They're saying we're coming with the platform and the liquidity for you to get in. So your barrier to entry is not liquidity. And remember, that's a week after Gemini gets into bed with NASDAQ and has to integrate NASDAQ's tools into their platform. How long will it be before NASDAQ says, we're going to put more money into you and we're going to take over? I would love to see Gemini get rid of the Winklevoss twins. Kick them to the side, get real leadership in there. Get leadership in there. And I think you could see Gemini like doing some big things in bed with NASDAQ. You think? Hold on a second, because there was something else. CME. Control E CME group. Bear with me. I want to find something. Really? I know over the past week we were talking about CME group. That had to be the 19th. No. I'm not going to be able to bring it up now, but over the past week, you had the CME group doing something crazy as well. And I'm just trying to find out where it was, because I know I spoke about it. See, even me, that so much has gone on, there's no way in the world that I can find everything. And I take notes. You guys know I take notes. And it was over the past week. I don't understand why I'm not seeing everything over the past week. Pretty sure I've got to just restart that. That's where the problem is. Pain in the tail. It's all right. We'll find it another time. There you go. All right. I just really want to find it now because the CME group news was also big. That CME group news was really big. Because they control 4 different areas. Maybe I can do a search for COMEX. Really? There's got to be something wrong with my notes right now, because I did the article. Sorry about that, guys. Well, I'll have to find it another time. Or you could just go to the website and find it. CME Group News. Yeah, it was kind of big. Oh. Okay, there you go. Back to my notes. Today's notes. Just looking to see what else there was. Societe Generale's SG Forge launches EURCV and USDCV stablecoins. Bank of Korea proposes stricter controls on won pegged stablecoins, meaning stablecoins that are pegged to any given fiat are going to be state bound now. That means that the country that they're in is going to exert pressure. You could swap that word for control. Something else that we should be paying attention to. Right? Brian Quintens was supposed to be the head of the CFTC. Guess who got pulled? He's now been pulled. That was big news. That was really big news. Lex Luthor, I think that's your own opinion. You're welcome to it, but I disagree. Numbers are saying people are buying, not that people are selling. Not yet, anyway. I expect sell-offs. Not yet. Not yet, though. And that's what I'm finding to be funny is like, what you talking about, bro? What you talking about? Wow. What other news do we have? Microsoft cut a deal with Japan, 3 different deals with Japan for more energy, 100 megawatts of energy. That's huge. Why is it huge? Because remember when, and this is one of the things that I wanted to bring up the other day, remember when everybody was talking about how crypto takes up so much energy? Crypto doesn't come close to taking up the same amount of energy, nowhere near as much as AI. Yeah. Nobody was talking about building out, data centers that swallow up power to do crypto. Nobody. And now I'm sitting here just saying to myself, like, really? Are you people paying attention? And nobody says that. Nobody says, look at how much energy AI is taking up versus crypto. And by the way, AI has not solved cancer yet. Hasn't fed the world yet. Has not created infinite power yet. None of those things. Which it was touted to be able to do. Nowhere near yet. Just saying, there's a lot of news that happened. Right? What else was there? Alpaca introduced new instant tokenization network, ITN. Instant tokenization. Just let that wash over for a moment. Instant tokenization. That's crazy. Yeah. These are the things that I think about. Those really are the things that I think about. Like, huh? So imagine how my mind spins when I'm looking at what's going on over the past week and how to weigh that going forward. Lex Luthor, do your own research, is what I would say. Whatever your research leads you to be, go ahead. I have nothing against it. None. Our perspectives are different. Maybe our data sources are different. That's what makes the world go round. Not upset about that. Not at all. Not at all. And it doesn't bother me because I don't give financial advice. I tell you the news and I tell you how I'm reading the news. How I'm connecting the dots that I see. Vive la différence. I'm cool with it. So, do I have data sources that are telling me that specific people or entities are buying BNB or that they're homemade? No, clearly not. If you do, share. All I see is that BNB is growing. All I see is that BNB is being used. Just saying. There comes a point. There comes a point. I can't research everything. That's why I rely on the community to tell me. Because I absolutely don't know everything. I'd like to, but I don't know everything. So now I'm listening to myself and the football game because I can hear it from here. You guys can't. At least I don't think so. But I'm listening to the football game at the same time. It's weird. Not paying attention to it, but you can hear it. What else do we have? Woof. Chicano, you got to get better with your emojis, man. An orange play button, funny. Very funny. But I'm serious, Lex. If you've got sources that are going to share different information, share it. It'd be welcomed. Now, I have two conflicting reports over the past week. One was Cex.io, CEX.io. I have no idea what game. It's over there. The boys are watching. I'm not watching. I'm with you guys. I'll be watching another while, though, and eating my cheesesteak. But what I'm looking at right now is Cex.io, CEX.io, came out with a report that highlights record stablecoin growth, right? Hence $3 billion minted by. But then there's another report out there, similar to what Lex Luthor was saying, but in terms of stablecoins, was saying that, well, a lot of that stablecoin traffic is bots. Which is not amazing, is it? It's not amazing. It's a bunch of bots that are trying to move value so that they can go do stuff. Not amazing. So I'm just looking to see what's going to affect me. I'm expecting the fact that we got no more economic data because the U.S. government is shut down. So we're guessing. I listened to a whole bunch of companies, a whole bunch of economists, a whole bunch of people just talk about how, we don't talk about sports here. We don't care. I was just telling you what's annoying me in my ear at the moment. So what I'm looking at, no, I will absolutely never make my own trading bots. Never. Not going to happen. That should be there should be an obvious reason. At my company, we do AI, which take regular trading bots to the next level, right? Yeah, I don't ever want a trading bot. I don't ever want something. I don't want the two together. I'm not going to marry anything that's going to trade on my behalf. I'll do something where it will tell me what I should trade. And if you look on E-Trade, NinjaTrader, Thinkorswim, they all have APIs that enable you to create trading bots. And there are a whole bunch of people out there that actually give you the code that you can use to leverage those bots. That's not me. I don't want something making calculations and then going off and doing what it wants to do. I like receiving alerts. Hey, you might want to buy this because it's going to return that. Because what it's doing is it's saying, like, I would take AI and I would do something like that where it says, hey, if you buy this right now within this range, the expected outcome because of this news, this sentiment, and what we're understanding from MACD, RSI, whatever the heck, tells us that this, in this time range, will be your return. Isn't that what all of them do? It's just, how are you weighting everything? How are you weighting your RSI versus your MACD versus whatever the heck else you're using to make your decisions? And then as you're watching the market, how are you making adjustments? What are you adjusting and why? Are you noting your adjustments and why? There's a lot more that goes into it than 2 + 2 = 10. Yeah, that's right. I said it. 2 + 2 = 10. And I meant it. A lot of work goes into that. But am I ever going to have anything that's going to trade on my behalf? Probably not. A bot? No. I might have sets of bots that do different things. And then human in the loop will say, yes, no, go. Like, it won't have the ability to execute. Why? Because they can go bonkers and lose me all my money. Same way that they can make me a ton of money, they can lose a ton of money. So yeah, nah. Nope. And those bots that just send little bits of whatever. Remember, we have GMB TV. That's a real coin. And somebody asked me before about GMB TV. Well, how come you're not using a bot to, make it more popular and blah, blah, blah. I was like, isn't that manipulating the market? right? And then because it hits you like, oh, snap, it is manipulating the market, which is lying. So yeah, nah. I don't mind being wrong about things, but I'm not going to outright do something to manipulate the market or otherwise lie to you. Not my style, not my style. So yeah, no. And I advise people, hey, if you're going to leverage bots, there's nothing wrong with it. That's based on your risk framework, how you do things, how you manage your stuff. Not a problem with that. Just please be careful. Be careful. Right? Be like a construction worker. Measure twice, cut once. Because you don't want to be that person that's like, this is 1 inch. You don't want to be that person. Then you got to run back to Home Depot, get another board, and come back. And then you'll go, oh, yeah, let me measure twice, cut once. Yeah. That's what we're looking at. That's what we're looking at. Anyway, I'm going to go watch football with my boys and enjoy a cheesesteak. So I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do, do me a favor, smash the likes, tell your friends about us, and absolutely become a member if you can, because members come with benefits. Like 1 week from today at 1 p.m. will be the Big Bagger monthly video call where we just have different big baggers come on and we just talk about everything. We talk about everything and we share knowledge, we share opinion, we crack jokes. But that's when we get together and we come up with some really good ideas. I've made more money than lost money. I'm in the black when it comes to some of these suggestions, really. But we share things, and I think that's the driving piece behind it. Anyway, everybody, this is Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Hope you like what I'm doing. If you do, smash the likes, tell your friends about us. And I have to tell you, we're, let me bring it up. I'll tell you the exact number. We are 17, oh, sorry. We are 67 subscribers short of 25,000 subscribers. That tells me we'll probably hit 25,000 subscribers tomorrow. Wow. We are growing. This community is growing because we're doing things. And it's because it's a safe space. We ask questions, hard-hitting questions, but it's a safe space. We ask because we want to know. We suggest because we want to help. That's a pretty cool community. A real community, and not just a bunch of people watching some knucklehead like me yap about whatever. It's all of us. And that's pretty awesome. Everybody enjoy the rest of your day. This is Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. And absolutely, thank you for your trust. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.